All right, good morning everybody, or afternoon depending on when you're watching this video. We've talked about during our synchronous time, during our one-on-one time during class, we talked about eye and hand coordination. Well, what we're going to do today and what you're going to do for your asynchronous work is you're going to work on tossing and catching. When you think about tossing and catching, the different size objects or the different size ball that you use will make it either easier or make it harder. Typically, the bigger the object, the easier it is to catch. Okay? Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways we can toss and catch, not just toss and catch, but different ways to either make it easier or make it harder depending on your skill level and your ability to toss and catch or your eye and hand coordination, okay? So back here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different size balls. I have big all the way down to small. Now I understand that you may not have these at your house, and that's okay. What you can do is you can use different objects like balled up paper, balled up socks, pillows, bigger ones, smaller ones. If you want something really small, you can toss a coin. There's many different things around your house that you can toss, but what you're going to do, you can determine. I want you to try all of them. I want you to try different size objects for toss and catch, and I'm going to show you the ways that I want you to toss and catch them. The order I'm going to go in, I'm going to go from easiest to hardest and show you how to toss and catch so we can work on our eye and hand coordination. We're going to start with the basketball. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to toss with 2 hands and catch with 2 hands. So here we're going to toss and catch. Notice my hands, I'm catching underneath the ball, not on the sides. So when we toss, catch, toss, catch, toss, catch. Okay? Next, as we're getting a little bit harder, now we're going to toss the 2 hands, catch with 1. So toss, catch, toss, catch, toss, catch. Okay? Now we're going to go a little bit harder. Now we're going to toss with 1 hand, catch with the same hand. So toss, catch, toss, catch, toss, catch. I'm going to move on to a smaller object. You can determine if you want to stay with the bigger object or move to a smaller one. That's up to you. Now what we're going to do, we're going to toss with 1 hand and catch with the other hand. Toss, catch, toss, catch, toss, catch, toss. Again, we started with the easiest, moving down to the more difficult toss and catch. Now if you stop, that's easier. Now if we go to like a juggling type toss and catch, it gets a little bit more difficult as well. Okay? Now, I'm going to move on to something even smaller. Now what you're going to do is you're going to toss it in the air and clap. So toss, clap, catch, toss, clap, catch, toss, clap, catch. And what you can do here is you can see, depending on how high you can throw the ball up in the air, if you're outside, obviously you can throw it higher than if you're inside. But if you throw it in the air, see how many times you can clap before you catch it. So I'm inside, I've got a ceiling above me, so I can't throw it that high. But let's see how many times I can catch, or I can clap before I catch it. I think that was 5. 5. Now we can go, you can let it go all the way to the ground before it hits the ground. So if you go down to the ground, obviously you coming up and down, it makes it a little more difficult as well. Next, and we're getting harder and harder as we go. It's getting more difficult and more difficult as we go. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to toss, turn around, and try and catch it. Okay? If you're doing this one at home, make sure you've got some space just in case you fall over. You don't want to fall into a couch or anyone else. So when you toss, obviously you've got to give yourself time as well to toss and catch. Okay? Here we go. Toss, catch. That one's more difficult. I suggest you try that one outside. Now the next one we're going to do, we're going to toss in the air, slap the floor, and then catch. So we toss, slap, catch. So toss, catch, toss, catch. Okay? So those are a bunch of different ways to toss and catch other than just doing this. And all of those will work on your eye and your hand coordination. Obviously, those last few that we did, the higher you throw it, the easier it's going to be to clap, but the harder it is going to be to catch, right? Because the object's going higher, it's going further away from you for you to catch. If you need to go back and watch this video, you can do that. But I need you to toss and catch, and I've left it up to you as far as what size objects you want to use. If you're in kindergarten, first, second grade, I suggest you start with something like this. Obviously, if it's softer, it's probably easier too than something that's more rigid. So if it's soft, it's easier to catch as well. Okay? Enjoy. Bye-bye.